Are you watching this, football fans? Are you absolutely furious at the Atlanta Falcons, or are you just utterly baffled? Because what we're witnessing with Kirk Cousins isn't just a coaching decision, it feels like a full-blown betrayal, a head-scratching abandonment of a quarterback they just lavished with a colossal $180 million contract. It's a move so perplexing, so sudden, that it begs the most fundamental question. Why have the Atlanta Falcons seemingly thrown Kirk Cousins to the curb less than a year after making him the cornerstone of their franchise? This isn't just about a player being benched. This is about a team, fresh off a promising 6-3 start that had them sitting pretty atop the NFC South, seemingly pulling the rug out from under their most significant offseason acquisition. One moment, Kirk Cousins was the veteran savior, the steady hand meant to guide the Falcons to playoff glory. The next, with 3 weeks left in the previous season, he was relegated to the sidelines, his future in Atlanta suddenly shrouded in a fog of speculation and disbelief. Was it injury? Was it performance? Or is there something far more intricate, more unsettling at play behind the scenes in Flowery Branch? The answers, or lack thereof, are sending shockwaves through the league, and every fan with a stake in NFC South or just a love for compelling football drama deserves to know the truth. The story of Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons took a bewildering turn when he was unceremoniously benched with the season winding down. This wasn't some late-round draft pick struggling to find his footing. This was a seasoned quarterback, a proven commodity who had just signed a contract that screamed franchise cornerstone. The $180 million deal wasn't just a financial investment. It was a declaration of intent, a belief that Cousins was the missing piece. Yet here we are, barely a year later, and the Falcons appear to be actively distancing themselves from him, treating him less like a prized asset and more like a forgotten relic. The initial speculation swirled around his performance. In the weeks leading up to his benching, his play had indeed dipped, marked by a concerning 9 interceptions with 0 touchdowns. For a quarterback of his caliber, those numbers were alarming. But was it simply a case of poor play, or was there a deeper, more insidious factor at work? The suddenness of the shift from NFC South leaders to a team seemingly done with their star quarterback is jarring, leaving many to wonder if the decision was truly about on-field struggles, or if the whispers of a secret injury held more weight than initially understood. This brings us to the heart of the enigma: the interplay between Kirk Cousins' health and his on-field production. The narrative from within the Falcons camp, or at least the one that has trickled out, suggests that Cousins kept the true severity of his injuries to himself. We've heard whispers of both ankle and shoulder issues, ailments that could severely hamper a quarterback's ability to drive the ball, to put zip on his passes, and to escape pressure. If his less-than-stellar play, those 9 interceptions to no touchdowns, was a direct consequence of these undisclosed injuries, then the entire calculus of the situation changes dramatically. Was he struggling because he was genuinely ineffective, or because he was battling through pain, trying to tough it out for his new team? This chicken-and-egg question is critical. If it was the latter, then the Falcons' apparent abandonment of him feels not just premature, but deeply unfair. Consider the context. Before the wheels came off, the Falcons were a respectable 6-3, leading their division. Cousins, despite some bumps, was at the helm, guiding an offense that showed flashes of real potential. Many analysts would argue that a quarterback of Cousins' experience and track record, especially one who had just committed his long-term future to the franchise, deserves the benefit of the doubt, or at least a second chance to prove his worth when fully healthy. But then there's the other side of the coin, the issue of trust. If Cousins indeed withheld information about the extent of his injuries, did that constitute a breach of trust with the coaching staff and the front office? Is this perceived abandonment a form of punishment for what some might view as professional negligence? While a player's desire to compete and push through pain is often lauded, a team's investment of $180 million demands complete transparency regarding physical well-being. The tension between a player's grit and a team's need for full disclosure creates a complex ethical dilemma, one that seems to be playing out in real time in Atlanta. Adding another layer of intrigue to this already convoluted narrative is the emergence of Michael Penix Jr. as the apparent heir apparent. Penix Jr., a promising young talent, has certainly shown flashes of brilliance, and the allure of the backup quarterback is always strong, often making him the most popular guy on the team when the starter struggles. But are the Falcons truly ready to hand the keys to the kingdom to a rookie, especially when their schedule kicks off with a brutal 5-week gauntlet that includes 4 playoff teams from a season ago? This isn't a gentle introduction. It's a trial by fire, a baptism under extreme pressure. The decision to seemingly sideline Cousins for Penix Jr. feels like a high-stakes gamble, a move that could either pay off handsomely in the long term or spectacularly backfire in the immediate future. Are the Falcons jumping the gun a little, as some suggest? With a veteran like Cousins, who has proven he can lead a winning team, patiently waiting in the wings, it raises the question: are they willing to give him the ball in a time of need, or will they bypass him entirely, holding the withdrawal of information over his head until he's gone? The pressure on Penix Jr. will be immense. Every throw, every decision, every win or loss in those crucial first 5 weeks will be scrutinized under a microscope. And if things start terribly, if the losses pile up and the offense sputters, will the passionate fans in Atlanta begin to chant for Kirk Cousins, demanding that the team turn back to the veteran they paid so handsomely? The possibility of fan revolt, coupled with the immense financial commitment to Cousins, makes this one of the most fascinating and potentially volatile quarterback situations in the entire league. Ultimately, the Atlanta Falcons find themselves at a critical crossroads, grappling with a myriad of unanswered questions that will define their season and potentially their franchise's trajectory. Is this perceived abandonment of Kirk Cousins a calculated risk, a bold pivot towards a younger future, or a catastrophic misjudgment driven by a lack of trust and a desire to punish? The implications extend far beyond just the quarterback position. They touch upon team chemistry, coaching philosophy, and the very identity of the franchise. The tension is palpable, the stakes incredibly high. Every snap, every game in the opening weeks of the season will be a referendum on this controversial decision. The Falcons are playing a dangerous game, one that could either lead them to unexpected heights or send them spiraling into another season of disappointment. The saga of Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons is more than just a football story. It's a compelling drama of trust, injury, expectation, and the brutal realities of professional sports. Will the Falcons' gamble pay off, or will they live to regret seemingly abandoning their $180 million man? Only time and the unforgiving gridiron will tell. What do you think of this high-stakes gamble? Is Atlanta making a brilliant long-term play, or are they setting themselves up for a season of regret? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this deep dive as captivating as we did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive insights into the biggest stories in sports.